think what's so amazing about your interview series, Starting Over, is that you actually help other women by asking those hard to know, like, we want to know what you did to start over and to reinvent yourself. And I think what's so amazing about that interview series is that you do take that same boldness, the same candid questions, and you ask those of these other women.
Yeah.
And so what would you say, who do you want to be talking to? Who do you want to reach with your message?
You know, I target women, but I've come to realize that it's not just women who have issues with voice, issues with reinventing themselves, issues with finding an identity and moving on and becoming the kind of person they've always wanted to become. It's men and women who have lost their dreams, who have lost all sense of what the possibilities are, people who feel too old to start over, too much responsibility. It's men and women. I focus on women primarily because I always assume a lot of my lessons, hard-earned lessons, were really gender-based. You know, I grew up believing, with a very traditional mother and father, that I was going to be taken care of, and that a husband would be providing me everything. And so some of these mistakes in thinkings I really associate with gender issues, so I tend to focus on women. And I also tend to be very open and find that when I speak to women, they're really terrific about revealing about themselves. They're much more willing to share. Men will often suffer, I think, from having to maintain their position in a hierarchy, having to maintain face. I think that I will probably discover that this is not the case, that when I speak to men, they're really, really adept at identifying where they were lost in their life and how they reinvented themselves. But all right, so right now I'm really aiming at women who are facing a transition. It seems obvious to me that anybody coming out of a divorce, women facing the empty nest, are people who are going to really recognize that they need to jumpstart their new life. They need to find some sort of idea of, I've got this time now, this energy, I want something more. What do you do? What's the next step? How do I find a passion? How do I get permission to suddenly be somebody different if I've got these people who are used to being around the old me, if it's not working for me anymore?
I'm Mia DeVolt. Make sure that you go to AnnSheybani.com to get more of this interview and for Ann to help you get your groove back. Thank you for joining us.